I'm going to show you exactly how to dominate turn 1 as Tzeentch with Kairos Fateweaver. So they must collect grimoires to hatch treacherous plots to manipulate the destiny of all beings through the changing of the ways, whilst teleporting armies around the world. Tzeentch is a race that excels at spell casting, missile firepower, and flying units. Its units are protected by a magical barrier, which is super useful, that absorbs damage and is replenished when not taking damage, such as pulling your guy out of the fight. Casting spells generates favor from Tzeentch that can be used on army abilities. So let's jump on in. Kairos Fateweaver. His faction effects, character experience gain plus 20%. All lords. So this is super important. This means your lords are going to level up faster than most factions' lords. And for every 10 levels you gain, you're going to get an extra 2. Battle reinforcement time minus 50%. So what that means is when another army that you have reinforces your main army, it's going to reduce the time that it has to take to come into battle. Hero action success chance plus 15% for all characters. Construction time minus 33% for all buildings faction-wide. The Lord effects, he uses fragments of sorcery to construct his own spell lore between battles, so this is super cool, we'll go over that. Cooldown minus 10% to all spells. Barrier replenishment delay minus 20% for the Lord's army. And enemy hero action success chance minus 50%. Ambush defense chance plus 50% for the Lord's army. So this is great because he can just run around and not worry about getting ambushed. The map, he's going to start all the way at the bottom at the Fateweaver's crevasse, as his designs are unknowable as ever. So let's jump on in. Alright guys, if you like this, make sure you like and subscribe to Titan Prime Gaming. So, Kairos Fateweaver, he's going to start right over here on the bottom of the map. He has some Nurgle to deal with. His path to glory. The Oracles of Tzeentch make use of Kairos' depthless arcane knowledge by using the fragments of sorcery to construct unique spell lores to take into battle. Gather grimoires throughout your campaign to unlock arcane knowledge via technologies and manipulate reality with the changing of the ways. So here's your grimoires, you can keep track of that. They're generated from buildings and fighting battles. Okay. The changing of the ways is your super faction ability. They can also use teleport stands to instantly move between locations on the map and launch attacks without the risk of ambush, which is insane. Ensure the spread of Tzeentch corruption to aid his participation in the great game, and unlock unholy manifestations that can produce powerful effects. So let's mash on these Nurgle guys. So, as you guys know, Tzeentch hates Nurgle. Tzeentch hates corn. So, I really love these Cultists of Tzeentch. You want to put that right into your armor. It's going to give you increased movement range by about 10%. And then from here, you can see that it's going to give us two options. We can either head back towards the Fateweaver's crevasse. You can continue to roll towards the Nurgle swarm, or you can go right up here. And if you see, there's this faction, which is a Tzeentch faction, and there's also the Fortress of Dawn. So what's going to happen is Teclis is going to start over here and battle out in this area. So you can actually roll back to the Fortress of Dawn pretty quickly if you like. And then that's what I would recommend to take him out. So, let's smash down on Pinch Eye here. Kairos Fateweaver is a spellcaster. He has a barrier of 1200 hit points. So this is super important. He also has an incoming healing modifier of 100%. So what you want to do is pop him in and out of battle and throw healing down on him, okay? Because you can get 16,000 health worth of healing. Armor 50, leadership 85, so that's solid. He's very fast. He's got magical melee attack. He flies. His melee defense is terrible though, so do not get him in melee combat. But he does have good weapon strength, and he does have fear. Okay, so terror, which is really important because if you jump that down on a really weak unit, it'll just run away. But do not let him get too low of damage, because if his leadership gets down, he'll just take a ton of damage. All of a sudden, he'll just die off. So he's got decent pink fire of Tzeentch. The blue fire is like a magic missile, not my favorite, but you can unlock a ton of other stuff with him. Okay, he's also a siege attacker, so you don't have to worry about that. The Cultists of Tzeentch, they're spellcasters with barriers, okay, and they're going to have spell mastery, so the more of those you have, the better Tzeentch is going to do in battle. We also have the blue horrors of Tzeentch, and then the pink horrors of Tzeentch. As you can see, the blue horrors are essentially a little bit of a weaker version of the pink horrors. They also have a barrier. They have a special ranged weapon, which has magical and fire attacks, okay? Now, their magical damage actually can do quite a bit of damage over a little bit of time with certain units. You want to throw these down on like the lords, actually, like this guy, the wizard lord. And you might even throw it on the toads here. And then we have the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch, which are armored shield, barrier, anti-infantry. So you're going to smash those into any infantry you come close to. But you want to make sure you pull them in and out of combat, or they'll just take tons of damage. You also have the Chaos Furies. You want to roll these in and take out their squishiest units possible, or surround a lord, because they're very squishy and they're not very powerful. We have the Flamer. Okay, they have a warp flame. It's going to sunder their armor, and then they also have armor piercing flaming attacks. So this is pretty important, because what you can do is if you throw this down, you can improve the damage that all your other infantry, your missile units do. So you can essentially hit combat, attack a bunch of variety of units, and that will debuff them all. Okay, so let's go ahead and smash down here.
We already know.
Now we can get replenishment, winds of magic, or money. So we definitely want to go for that money right now. We have plenty of barrier. So from here, it wants us to capture this settlement, and this is going to give us a potion and some foolhardiness. Okay. Now, there's the changing of the ways, so you could technically transfer a non-capital settlement. And what this is going to do is it's going to try transfer it to another faction. So you could technically do this to a friend, and then you could attack that area. Okay. Now this one is going to give you, okay, grimoires 125 per turn, and 20% post-battle. Okay, so in the next couple turns, you could throw that down over here. So we can grab that once you have the right amount. And then you can throw down a Kairos Fateweaver here. So each one's going to cost a certain amount of corruption. Okay? So we can perform this, and then you can gain those grimoires.
We are.
We're going to grab some skill points. So as you see, you unlock different fragments of the sorcery through these. I'm definitely going to grab the campaign movement range for him. And you can see there's different unlocks here, depending on what level you're at. Which is pretty cool. Depending on what type of side of the head you pick. Which is pretty interesting. Alright. So let's grab the skill points for this guy. We're going to increase mobility again. This is going to give us a ton of movement range, and then next few turns.
Shall be.
And you probably just want to smash through this. We don't care about losing the Harpies or the Chaos Furies. Basically the same thing. Now you can sack it and get Grimoires, or you can occupy it. Okay? So we're going to sack it, get those.
Sack it.
And then we're going to come back. And we can always occupy this now if we want. Okay? So we have this mission,
But I knew it would
which was
be.
to defeat an enemy, and this is to capture that settlement.
So,
Occupy that, smash, boom, got some more gold, got a ton of grimoires, took 272 grimoires. Okay, so you can transfer settlements for your allies as well, so that might be something to think about. Okay, you also can manipulate the winds of magic, so like you could decrease the winds of magic strength in an area that you're gonna go attack, and that will give you an advantage, obviously. Okay?
of the destiny.
So let's
scroll.
grab some more skill points here.
Zenith calls. Tomorrow.
Oh, we got one more skill point for this guy. We're gonna grab for missile damage here, because the blue horrors of Tzeentch and the pink horrors of Tzeentch
Another
super
node
important.
to the nexus.
Now we want to upgrade the Fateweaver's crevasse, because that's going to be important, so we can get those pink horrors. And there's also this, which gives you research rate and grimoires. There's also normal growth if you're trying to bump that settlement up quickly, and control. This increases your campaign line of sight by 30%, which is pretty cool. And then this is going to give you all the different units, which the Doom Knights of Tzeentch are ridiculous. So I highly recommend trying to grab one of those at some point. So we're going to build up on that. You can also build more Cultists of Tzeentch if you would like, which is not a bad idea. And then I think what we're going to actually do is we're going to grab this, because we want to increase that research rate as quickly as possible. And then, let's see, where's that? We don't need income right now. We're going to grab the growth and that barrier replenishment in case we need that. Let's repair this. We'll throw down on some technology. So there's changing of the ways, which gives you revealed the shroud of all factions territory. So that is pretty cool. It's probably worth it. Okay. There's also recruit rank +2 for blue horrors, income from sacking and looting. This one gives increased corruption and growth, winds of magic, cooldown to all lores of spells, and recruitment cost -9 and armor increase. So this is great if you're going straight military. So we're gonna grab the Way of Deception because I want to see everything.
Cry out for
And from
this.
there, you can look at our cult, which is all the way up here. The cult is basically an extra area where your Tzeentch faction can manipulate the area. We can increase Tzeentch corruption. You can instantly gain grimoires, which is a lot, 500. Okay. Or you can get other things. So grimoires per turn, but you'd have to get, think about that, you'd have to get 100 turns to get 500 grimoires. Okay. Or with this one, you'd have to get still a ton of turns. 50 turns. That's crazy. But it does have a 5% chance per turn to expand the Tzeentch cult. So think about that. And this one also has the lightning strike, so you could basically take somebody out, surprise them. This one's gonna increase a 5% chance. I mean, if you think about that, for 25 turns, you're gonna have another one. So if you're going to play a long-term game, those are actually not a bad idea. Okay? But for me, okay, this one, changing of the ways cost faction-wide, minus 80%. It's a discoverability of plus 200. Okay, so if this thing goes up too high, which is 100, you'll get discovered. Okay, so we're just gonna do that. We're gonna grab that. Just get those grimoires, okay? Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna come straight up the middle. And then from there, if you want to grab some diplomacy, this guy over here, Authorial, the Everwatcher, you could technically make him be somebody that wants to team up with you, but you have to convince him. You might want to give him like a settlement. There's also Damon's Gate here. Okay. So what I would do is eventually you can try to confederate, and then you could have people try to become a vassal for you, which would be super helpful for you. Okay. Now, as you can see, there's these different areas that we have, right? So if you want to grab this, it's not a bad idea, so you can still see this area, but we're going to grab that tech, which will take care of that. So I would highly recommend make sure you take Kairos up to here. We're going to grab that second Lord. So you can grab a Chaos Lord, which are going to be their smash and bash. They're super cool because they got their barrier. Okay, so this guy's going to be great for charging into battle. Sorcerer Lords, which if you're going to have them team up with Tzeentch, it might not be a big deal because, I mean, at the end of the day, they're pretty much a Tzeentch Lord. And there's the Heralds of Tzeentch, which are just, honestly, I don't really think they're that much different. They have a little bit of different spells, so they're going to be more powerful in that sense. But, yeah, let's see, which one does this one have extra? The Locus of Conjuration. Increases to proportionally effective. So this will give you power recharge. So, but I mean, for me, I like the look of the Chaos Sorcerer Lords. And this guy gives you -8 leadership, minus control, and -6 leadership. So this guy is going to be super clutch. We'll grab him.
For the great conspiracy.
And then what we'll do is Kairos Fateweaver here is going to actually pop out.
Over.
So that way this guy can jump in, and we're going to grab our global recruitment. Okay. And we're going to go for the cheapest units for the global. And then we'll grab some of these super expensive units. We're going to grab some Marauders of Tzeentch with spears. Alright. And then from there, Kairos here.
Dark
Oops.
sorcerer.
I grabbed those in the wrong one. You want to put these on Kairos' army.
For the Raven God.
So, there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure that if you want to just mess around a little bit, you can do a changing of the ways here, which might make it pretty fun for you. And other than that, like and subscribe. Titan Prime out.
The loss.